Hello everyone, my name is Gary. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is called Focus on Your Strengths. Let's do it.
Gary GretarssonInc Beats.
So this is something that I speak about quite often with clients, friends, fellow artists, colleagues, is to think about the things that you're good at and spend your time focusing on those rather than the things that you're not good at. So what I find is that some people get hung up on the things that they're not good at and spend too much time trying to get better at the things they're not good at instead of harnessing and leaning on the things they're really good at. A lot of times the things that we're really good at come somewhat naturally to us. There may be a skill we developed that we learned and something like that, but oftentimes it's something that came much easier, and that just means that that's something that you should look at more, that's something important. A lot of us do a lot of things. I do a lot of things, a lot of different things. But there are definitely things that I do better than others. And I try and keep my head wrapped around the idea that I need to focus on that and lean on that. And, we've all gone through those times where we're hung up on something that we're not doing well, and something that we just can't get for some reason. And it's holding us back. And so what's happening is we're thinking too much about that. And we neglect the stuff we're good at and the stuff that we can lean on to help us spring forward. For instance, if, let's say you're a really good rapper and you want to sing, and you find this melody in your head and you're trying to sing it and you're just having trouble getting it and you're struggling with it. Now, I'm not saying don't try and learn how to do that, but I'm just saying that if you want to do that, it's going to take you some time to learn that and to hone in that new skill. So just be aware of that. So if you're struggling there and you're really not getting it, then you need to come back and lean back on the rap that you do and push that out while you silently take the time on your own time to learn, practice, maybe take lessons, maybe study, and things like that. But, and it's not just even things like that. Like, as a singer, if you're, let's say you're struggling in a certain register, right? Don't keep trying to hit that register. It's just not, it's not smart. Because if you're not doing it right, especially if it's a higher register that's out of your range, if you're not doing it right, you could be hurting yourself. And the other thing is that I notice a lot of people who try to push their range often, and they're singing songs that are out just above their range throughout the whole song. And, that's just going to put strain on your voice if you're pushing too hard and it's not really in your range to hit that. So just be aware of that. Pick the right songs. Write songs that are around your range, around your voice. If you're working with songwriters, make sure they know where your range is. It's like, where can we drop this song into what key? Okay? Because it's really important that you see yourself do something, accomplish something, do something good, right? You notice that you're doing something well. If you can see that and feel that and lean on that, that's going to help you later when you're trying to develop a larger range or develop a new skill and add to it. If you're leaning on what you're good at, that's your rock. That's your rock. That's going to hold you down. That's going to push you through. And it's the thing that's going to help you see that you're good at something. It's a mental thing. It's a psychological thing. If you can see, hey, I am good at this thing, and I know I'm good at this thing, and I really can lean on it, and no matter what happens, I can do this thing really well, no matter when or where or what the situation is. I can do that. So if you know that and you lean on that and you develop that even more, that's just going to expand and flow over into other things that are related. Okay, so that's just, it's something to keep in mind. Not only that, but like sometimes there are just some things that you just can't wrap your mind around. Not everybody can do everything, and in fact, most people can't do everything. We're all good at something, and we need to see that we're good at something. Not all engineers are awesome at mixing. Not all engineers are awesome at mastering, or even doing live sound. That's why there's different people that do different things more often, some people just gravitate to certain things. Some people want to be setting up for the shows and doing sound at live shows and being part of the experience. Some people like that and want to do that constantly, and that's the only thing they want to do. Me as an engineer, I prefer to be in the studio. I like the one-on-one experience with an artist. I like to be able to take the time to craft sounds and try different things, create sounds. So it's much more fulfilling for me to be in the studio. So doing a show is I won't say painful for me, but it's certainly not my favorite engineering work. Okay, but some people thrive there and really don't want to be in the studio at all. I know several people like that, actually. So it's important to see that there are certain things that you do well, and that those are the things that it's almost like someone is holding something that's attracting your attention in this direction. And if you see it and you're able to follow it and lean mostly in that direction and not try and cloud yourself up with other things, focusing on what you're good at, on the strong points of your talent, on your talent itself, and not trying to learn how to be an engineer, things like that. Being an engineer is years of training, learning physics about sound, learning about, real intense information, and training and practice. So, as an artist, to be caught up learning engineering, it's not the best use of your time. You're not leaning on what you're good at. You're now taking a step back. If you're trying to pursue career as an artist or pursue your music just in general, that way it's not exactly the best idea to say, oh, well, I can just record it myself. That's a whole other thing, though. I feel very passionately about that issue, and in a variety of different ways. And I'm not saying I don't like that artists record themselves, because I do that. But I also trained for 4 or 5 years, and have another additional 12 years of experience doing that, just that, so it's a whole separate issue, though, and you have to be willing to spend the time to do that, because you can't replace an engineer. So More on that another time. So, point being here, though, that we're all good at something, okay? We are all good at something. When we know what that thing is, when we know what that aspect of that thing that we're really good at is, okay? Like I said, let's say you're a singer, it's a register. It's a specific register, a specific style. A rapper, a specific flow, cadence. Particular types of beats that you work with, particular tempos. As a beat maker, particular styles that you do well with, without being the same. That's a tough one. Just there's something you're good at. Maybe there's a certain, as a composer or a musician, beat maker or something, maybe there's a certain instrument you play best out of certain different instruments. Maybe there's, maybe there's a certain context in which you perform at certain shows that makes you shine. Figure out what those things are. Think about it. Maybe if you just were to think right now, that it would be tough for you to think. What is the thing I'm most, most talented at, most good at? It doesn't make sense, I know, but just trying to get the words there. What are the aspects of the thing that you want to be doing? What are the key elements that you're really good at? Okay. Now, if you're doing music for real, it's good to have friends around. It's good to have a team of people who are working in the same direction. It's important to be cautious who you surround yourself with in that. And, but if that's the case, if you want to have some people on your team, and helping you, working with you together for the same goals, for mutual benefit, you need to make sure that you're working with people who are better at things that you're not good at and that are not good at things that you do. It's how that works. That's human interaction, the group mind that comes together and enhances each other. Okay? So just consider the idea that there may be something that you're struggling with, an aspect of something that is difficult for you, that you are having a tough time doing. And wonder to yourself, why am I spending so much time worrying about that? There are so many things that I'm good at. There are a few things that I'm really good at. So why am I not leaning on all of those? Why am I not spending the time focusing on what I'm really good at? So if you take the time, just take some time, think about, what are you good at? Make a list. What are the things that you're really, really good at? Really good at. We can be micro here. We can, like I said, we can be talking about specific styles, specific, ranges as a vocalist, flow styles as a rapper, tempos, whatever it is, something you're really good at. And then there's something that you're not good at, that you're trying so hard to do. I'm not saying don't try to be good at that thing you're not good at, because doing anything a lot will make you good at it. You can get good at it. But is that the best use of your time right now if you focus on that instead of using what you're really good at, okay, and pushing yourself forward with that while you learn and develop the other stuff, okay? That's the point. Focus on your strengths. Don't forget about the things you're weak at that you want to get better at. But focus on your strengths. Lean on them. Use that to push you forward. Okay? Don't get caught up trying to get good at something that you are really not good at and lose out on the chance to push yourself forward with everything that you are really, really good at. Okay? It's so important that you see things a little bit differently. I really can't express enough how much this changes people. Okay? I mean, I work a lot with vocalists, so this is a lot of that coming through here. But I see people doing this a lot. You know, they're coming in the studio trying to record something, having to do it a lot, and trying so hard to execute something that's outside of what I've normally seen them do, and it's holding them back, wasting studio time. Just holding them back from and feeling frustrated and getting in their head. And sometimes when you struggle with something, it gets you in a thing that you're not good at anything. But it's so not true, because you're definitely good at something. So it's important for your mindset. It's important for pushing you forward, in your career and all that, is to focus on what you're good at and stop trying to cloud yourself with things you're not good at. Okay? I know you don't want to be a one-trick pony or something like that, and totally agree with that. You want to have some well-rounded stuff that you're doing, but this is not necessarily about that. This is more about the idea that there are things that you are. I know that this is happening to you. I know it. You're watching this, and you're thinking about the things that you tried to do that you just couldn't execute, and it was so frustrating. It may or may not have actually stifled you and made you, well, I don't know, maybe I should just not do this music thing, because you had trouble doing something that you were trying to do that you don't normally do, and it got in your head. Don't let it get in your head. That's not a good thing. Okay? You need to keep your eyes on what it is that you really excel in. Really, really focus. Use that strength. Lean on it. Okay? Build yourself. Build. Power through. And all the while you can experiment, and you can, try to help. If this thing is really important to you, you want to grow it, that you're not very good at, you can definitely get good at it, and if you put in the time, right? But don't make it the focus. Do not make it the focus. It should be a secondary thing. It should be something that you do once in a while to try and build while you're cranking on the strengths and pushing forward on those. Okay? Because that's going to lead you forward. That's going to lead you to a place you want to be at in your career, so that you can start really working on that stuff you want to enhance and become good at. And honestly, that stuff, especially if it's related, if it's part of your voice, like if you're doing the stuff you're really good at, it's only going to make your voice better. So it'll make it easier for you to try these other things. So don't get hung up on those. Really, don't. Because it's only going to hold you back. mentally, physically, it's only going to hold you back. Focus on your strengths. Don't ignore your weaknesses, but focus on what you're good at. Okay? So that's going to be it for today. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I'll do my best to respond to any comments. And if you have anything that you would love to hear me talk about, or if you have questions or anything like that, please leave it in a comment below, because it helps me know what you want to hear, what you need to learn about, what you want to think about, what you'd love advice on, anything like that. Please leave me a comment, and I'll do my best to respond and potentially create more content surrounding your question. So thanks for checking this out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification so that you make sure you get every one of my videos, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.